Hi, my name's Nick, and this is Tractors and Stuff, and it's starting to snow. I cannot catch a break when it comes to filming. So I want to make this the follow-up to the last video I put out about the Lower Radiator Hose Heater, engine heater. I said some things, I was kind of upset about it, because I've realized that the heater is not a lightsaber. It does not heat this engine the way I was expecting it to be, and I was a little disappointed. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work the way it's intended to do so. I was expecting this heater to heat up this entire engine to where I didn't have cold starts. I had warmer oil, not warm oil, but warmer oil. And I was concerned about the glow plugs not warming up the combustion chambers well enough because I don't want cold starts. And truth be told, even with the glow plugs cycled on a few times, the tractor still starts, but still kind of does that little bit of a knock right there at the beginning. I'm still kind of on the fence about this. I did order the magnetic oil pan heater. Some people have mentioned the pads and how they work better with the split oil pan because of that front drive shaft. But I'm not too concerned about the oil. The oil is the least worrisome part about this. Another concern that I had, though, concerning the oil, was the warmer coolant, believing that the tractor, the ECU believing that the tractor was at operating temperatures when it wasn't, and doing a regeneration cycle without the engine actually being warmed up. And my fear there was that it would go into its regeneration cycle. It would run those RPMs way up, the turbo wouldn't be lubricated enough, and I'd blow the turbo. There's been some issues, like I've said in the past, of tractors with the improper oil or outdated ECU that would do that. It would actually do a regeneration cycle as soon as the tractor was started up because maybe the operator didn't allow it to do a regeneration cycle before he turned it off, kind of a thing. Or it was just that time. And so the tractor did a regeneration cycle, and the turbo wasn't lubricated well enough. It was cold outside, and a bunch of black smoke and oil and stuff came flying out of the exhaust pipe. I really don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do to alleviate that one concern, because like I said, this thing is set to regenerate right now. It's 280 hours. Last regeneration cycle was like 46 hours ago. So any time now it's going to do its own regeneration cycle. And what we're going to do is we're going to force regenerate it. So I'm going to walk you through how we're going to do that. I need to get this thing fired up. It's already been kind of warmed up. And I moved it over here. And I'm going to just drive around the property because there's no work to be done. The ground is completely frozen. It's pretty cold out here. Even though I'm in a hoodie, I'm kind of cold. It's probably 14 degrees out here right now. So it's starting to snow. Maybe I can wait until we get some snow on the ground. I can plow. But other than that, there's nothing to really do. So what I think I'm going to do is just warm it up real well and go for a drive around the property. Maybe take my toddler for a ride in the tractor. Get it nice and hot because I want that engine to be really, really hot before doing it. And we'll go and do the force regen. That way when it's parked and got the engine heater turned on, I come out and turn the key. It's not going to want to try and do a regen on its own. It's going to wait. Next regeneration will be in about 50 hours from now. And that's going to be like springtime. And I won't have to worry about this at all. So a couple of points, though, I noticed on the forums. If you've been following this thread on the forums, TractorByNet, a lot of people have been saying I don't have it installed correctly, or asking me if I have it installed correctly. So again, they obviously probably didn't watch the install video on how I did this and the reasons why I put it where I did. But let's look at that again, and we'll alleviate some of that. So let's get down here to the heater, and we'll take a look. Okay, so we have the heater here, and it isn't close to where it comes into the water pump. And if we remember back, the reason why is because this gets hot, and I didn't want it pressing up against this plastic cap. It would be more efficient if the heater was actually right here. It can't go right here. There's not enough space. So the next logical position would be right here. But being that this is my oil filler and this is plastic, I didn't want to run the risk of melting this. So I put it down here. Now what does that do though? Well, it moves it further away from the engine block, but it still works, because if you think about what this is just a coil. It's a resistance coil inside there that heats the water, the coolant, and it starts to rise. And the reason why in the instructions they don't want any dips is because the hot water would get trapped in that dip and not be able to come out of it, like a P-trap on your sink. So the water has to rise, and in this configuration it does rise. There is no dips for where it's at. So the only thing I wish I would have done a little bit differently was turn it in a little bit more to where it was, this plug is facing to the back a little bit more instead of cocked out a little bit. Other than that, this is a good location for that heater. I did read and follow the instructions to the letter when I installed this heater. It is not installed incorrectly. So now that we have this kind of worked out a little bit and I can alleviate some of my fears, you know, again, this is just it's better than nothing, and I was expecting more of it than I should have been. So with the magnetic oil pan heater on there, it's going to warm up the oil. With doing a forced regeneration, that's going to alleviate that concern. It's still going to start, it's still going to knock just a little bit, and that's just what I have to get over. I am all about preventative maintenance, and I'm all about doing the right thing the right way. So that's why I was a little bit upset about this. You know, I was expecting more of it than it really was, and that's my fault. So I shouldn't be bashing on this, because, you know, it is what it is. It's not a lightsaber. And as I said in my install video, the frost plug heaters are way more efficient. So if you can get to one of those and you can get one of those installed, do that one instead of this. I'm kind of regretting not actually going down that path and putting a frost plug heater in this tractor. And I might in the future. And then run all three, and then it'd be really warm. So I'm probably going to tax my outlets on doing that though, with all three heaters plus a battery charger. So yeah, well, let's get this thing fired up, warmed up, and we'll do the force regen. Here we are. Jackson's driving the tractor. Watch where we're going, buddy. Okay, I hope you can hear me all right. I got the engine firewalled. We're going as fast as I can possibly go. Trying to get the engine as hot as I can possibly get it. I took my son for a drive around the property a little bit, trying to get that temperature to come up. I would like to do this after doing some work with the tractor, but as you can see, the ground is frozen and there's nothing to plow, so I just went for a quick drive. Now we're going to try this manual regen, force regen. I've never done it before, so we're going to see how this is going to work. Step one is to get the bucket up out of the way of the exhaust. Make sure we're in neutral. Park and brake set is on. Neutral. Neutral. We're going to pull it all the way down to an idle. Now I'm going to press and hold this for 3 seconds or something like that. 1, 2, 3, there it goes. Alright, now we're regenning. We'll come back in a few minutes and it should be done. And we're about 5 minutes into the regen cycle, and I just want to show that the temperature light come on, meaning that we're actually doing the regen now. So we're up to temperature and it's burning out that soot. So we're just going to let it go until it idles back down on its own, and then we'll go from there. Okay, unfortunately I missed it. It just shut off and went down to an idle, and I grabbed my phone as soon as I could, but it happened really fast, so obviously. So I'm just let this thing idle, add idle, let it cool down, and focus. Thank you. And we'll go from there. Okay, so that regen went well. It is now completely free, and I can alleviate all those concerns that I had about this engine heater. I am not concerned about running this engine heater at all now, and that is a great tip. Thank you to the guys on TractorByNet, PCB something 5 on TBN. Thank you for that awesome tip. That is actually what I was looking for, so thank you for reminding me of that. For the rest of you, please like and subscribe, and hit that little bell notification. As you know, I don't put out videos on a regular basis, so get that notification when I post this video and future videos. So, all right, thanks for watching, and have a great day.